Hey, didn't know I was live. That fast. Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. Happy 4th of July, America's birthday, and my friend Ethan Roberts. Shout out to Ethan. It's also his birthday today. We can drink to that. So, happy birthday, America and Ethan. It is the 4th of July. What am I doing? I was in a group chat. What are your plans for the 4th? It's like, oh, I don't have any. I do. Oh, I have plans. I have plans for the 4th of July. It involves more back-breaking work. But in all honesty, it's pretty freaking cool. I complain, bitch, moan. Oh, I'm sore, my back. What are you sore from? Lifting boxes of baseball cards. I get it. Don't pity me. Hey, I did sweep, though. I did do some sweeping. I was at the house late. I was in a, you know me well enough, 924 episodes in, you know that I'm not a manual labor type of guy. When I do get in a rhythm, I am freaking balls to the wall. Let's go. I need to keep moving. I want to take a break. I don't want to, because I've got some juju going. Good juju. So I went over last night. I was over yesterday. I spent more than probably half the day at the house. The shelves were built yesterday. My shelf guys came around lunchtime, which enabled me to use the morning hours to get some shipping done. I'm way behind, so I'm basically I'm juggling today. I've got like 180 shipments or more. The movers come back tomorrow, so I've got to make sure I've got things, basically I want this room cleaned out with the exception of like this shit and my inventory, which is basically just down to, this is all inventory, that's all inventory. I got a few boxes down there, some boxes down there, most of that shit, all of that shit. So that I've just been putting it in the closet because that still all has to go. So movers come back tomorrow. That's why I wanted to get the shelves in, so I don't have, like in the thumbnail you see, the image of just cards stacked on the floor. And then I have to get them all situated. So the shelves were built yesterday to my specs. I should have had. So basically, we robbed Peter to pay Paul on the shelves. I bought 10 of the I think they're 36-inch wide shelving units, and they're not as sturdy as some of the other ones that I have. Like these are nice. These are nice, and the ones I have are sturdy, but not as sturdy as those. So, but I don't care because it's just basically junk that's going on those. So like just stuff that will be $1.50 cards in my eBay store in bulk. A lot of it's just going to be bulked out. I'm going through some boxes yesterday. It's like, oh, I can just put this whole box in the to bulk bin. So the one thing, so I ordered 10 of the shelving units. And I wanted to put like basically double them up. Instead of 5 shelves per unit, I want 10. Not quite tall enough for 10, so I think there's 7, which is perfect for my inventory. So I'll have 3 shelves in my eBay shipping room. So box 13 is not on top of box 8, and I have to lift. Oh shit, I've got a card out of box 8. I need to lift. So there won't be any of that. And there's plenty of room, Cooter. There's plenty of room to where I can just reach in and grab a card. So those were built. And then I said, just with the remaining, do the regular 4 or 5 shelves, whatever it was. But they're like I think they only put 4 shelves. And so there's like a huge space, and it's like, but I mean, it's just common. So it's not like I'm going to be accessing a lot of the, I mean, a third of the cards that are going to be in that room were basically in piles 8 feet tall in this closet. So it's not like I need to access every box on a regular basis. So it really doesn't matter in the end. So I'm okay with it. So those were all built. So then I took a little break in the afternoon after that was finished. Ran the sprinklers. My grass is starting to turn green. Everybody else's is brown except for Frank. Frank's got an in-ground sprinkler. Cheater. So I came home, did that, and went back over there at like 4:30. And I'm humming along. It's like getting close to 6, and that's like our dinner time. 6 o'clock is getting close to our dinner time. And it's like, it's 6 o'clock. I don't want to go home and eat dinner and come back. Cause this is how I work. Like once I eat dinner, I'm done. Stick a fork in me. But if I like order a pizza and I just have pizza on the table and I'm still working, I can keep humming along. Hum, baby, hum, baby, hum, baby. I can keep humming along. So it got to be like 6:15. And I'm like, it's 4th of July. It's the night before 4th of July. People are probably ordering pizza. I should probably put an order in so it's not like 9 o'clock by the time I get it. My first choice was just down the street, just down the new street is a place called Novanta. And it's like authentic Italian pizza. It's not like American pizza. It's like the pizza margherita. It's that type of pizza, which normally I don't go for that. I'm thick crust, or I like tavern style, which is what I ended up going for. But Novanta was closed. I'm like, well, shit. Authentic as his hat, right? Yeah. Thank you, Brian. But hey, I did buy this hat in Italy, but it's made in China. But I did buy it in Italy, Amalfi Coast. I did buy this hat in Italy. So it is semi-authentic. It's actually from Italy, but it just wasn't made there. Date night pizza. There you go. So Novanta was closed. So my next go-to besides Casey's is Rosati's. And I was looking for delivery because I wanted to keep humming along. Hum, baby, humming along. That's like the term of the day, humming along. So I put in an order for Rosati. I got tavern style. I haven't had tavern style in a long time. It was delicious. There was even a little giardiniera on the tavern style. It was good. Nice little kick. So it was like right at 45 minutes for delivery. I was when it got close to that 45-minute mark, I went outside and was just sitting on the porch scrolling, and one of the neighbors walked by and asked if I was the owner and what we were doing. He's like, I really like the deck. Asked me who did it. I'm like, our contractor has has had a lot of headaches with this project over the last 7 months, 6-7 months. So gave him his number, texted him. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get some brownie points with a referral. Yes. So did the referral. Herman says, food talk for Uncle Rich, getting ready to throw 50 chicken halves on the pit rack. Holy shit, that's a lot of chicken. Man, I'm jealous. I'm probably going to eat a frozen dinner for lunch. And for probably, I don't know, probably chicken, probably like the Tyson, like frozen chicken. So yeah, so I kept humming along, baby. I even swept out the garage, swept out the steps leading down into the basement. I uttered a text. I sent a text to my wife that she probably fainted. Oh, gave her the vapors. I said, "Do we have a dustpan?" I don't think those are words I have ever uttered in my lifetime. Do we have a dustpan? We do, and I have now used it. So I swept and I used the dustpan. So I was, I don't think I got home till like 8:30 last night. So I got a lot accomplished. I got a lot off the floor. I still need to go back and finish it up. So today it's like today's juggling. After I go live, I'm gonna get a bunch of shipping done, and then I'm gonna finish moving this stuff to the to move section of the basement, and then I'll go over there this afternoon and finish up. So I'm glad I wasn't anticipating, because I was over there all afternoon. I'm like, I'm done. I'll do it tomorrow. Famous last. I'm a big procrastinator, and that is not, especially when I have so many balls in the air right now, not good. So I'm glad I did. I'm glad I broke my back last night and got a lot of that done. I'm going to get to that. Another thing, what I really love when you have so many cards, you find stuff you forgot you had. So I want to talk about that. I got some mail yesterday. Clickbait title: how do I organize 3 million cards? I don't know yet. You tell me. Actually, you help me, because I know the time it's going to take, and I don't want to devote that type of time to organizing. So if you want to help me. I'm tired and sore. Ooh, woo. Haven't had my coffee yet. I think it's going to be a hot day today, too. Speaking of 4th of July, is Dan with us? I don't know if Dan is here. Dan put out a poll this morning, and I don't know if he's trolling for engagement or if he actually thinks 4th of July is the beginning or end of summer. Because that's definitely a troll question based on there were only 2 choices, beginning or end. Is the 4th of July the beginning of summer or the end of summer? It's like, what? It's like saying, is the sky green or red? Sometimes it can be green. Sometimes it can be red, or like a shade of pink. But if you show a photo of a blue sky, is this red or green? It gets a lot of engagement. So maybe that's what Dan was going for. 4th of July is, and I actually thought about this. This was something that was rolling through my head yesterday. That 4th of July is like right smack dab the middle of summer. For me, and I think obviously everybody's different, but for me, growing up and up until the last couple of years, basically COVID, June was such a crazy ass busy month for me. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, holy shit, it's 4th of July already. So like when I was in Macomb, we would have like Memorial Day, the beginning of summer. Some people are offended by that. It is what it is. It's like, it's a holiday weekend and people celebrate the beginning of summer. It is what it is. Not taking anything away from the actual holiday. So Memorial Day typically fell like around my dad's birthday. So it was like Memorial Day, my dad's birthday, beginning of summer. The following weekend, Anawan Fun Days, and my birthday. And then Father's Day falls in there. When I was broadcasting softball, that was the first 2 weekends in June. And then it's Father's Day. And then when I was in Macomb, it was Heritage Days, which is the fun days of Macomb, was the end of the month. And then all of a sudden it's 4th of July. It's like, where did the summer go? Hey, maybe it was I guess for me at one time, it kind of was the end of summer, because then by the end of July, in my radio days, I was like gearing up for high school football season. And we broadcast, I was in charge of five local high school broadcasts each week. So I had a lot of shit. Like, I had to find announcing teams. I had to get all the equipment ready. And that was sponsorships and all that crap. Formats and yada, yada, yada. So I guess it kind of was like, in my radio days, the 4th of July kind of did signal the beginning of the end of summer for me. But I was thinking about, like, now it's like, well, now shit, I don't even know what day it is. I think it's Tuesday. But Memorial Day is definitely the beginning of summer. Labor Day is definitely the end of summer. And 4th of July kind of falls right smack dab in the middle. Let's go to the chat. Super Sexy Cardboard in the house. Good morning. Victor, what's up? Happy 4th of July. Cooter is here. Happy 4th to you. Good morning, Johnny Boy Cards. Kyle is in the house. I did not have a chance, Kyle, to watch the NASCAR from Chicago. I am intrigued. I've only seen like 15-second video clips of the Chicago, like, city, like in the city, the city race. Like, I love street. So back in when I played video games. Oh, hey, guess what? I did play video games. I don't know what night it was. A few nights ago. I was at that point where I'm like fried. I'm just fried. And I was so fried. How fried were you? I wanted to get away from baseball cards. That's how fried I was. So I played some NBA Jam. NBA Jam! So I played some NBA Jam. I don't know where I'm going with this story. Oh, video games. So I did play video games the other night. And I played like 2 games of NBA Jam. And that was good. That was a good break. And then I looked at baseball cards again. So back in the day, like, what game was Driver? You Are the Wheelman was, I'd say, it's in my top 5 all-time favorite video games. It was on Sony PlayStation. Driver, You Are the Wheelman. My top 5 would be Tecmo Super Bowl, NBA Jam, Street Fighter 2, Driver, and then number 5 is open for debate for me. So Driver, I remember when Driver came out. This was back when Electronics Gaming Monthly had magazines, and I remember seeing an ad for Driver, You Are the Wheelman. And I'm like, holy shit, this looks awesome. And I think I even got in one of those magazines, they had a demo. They had PlayStation would put demo games in the magazines. And I think there was a Driver demo in one of the magazines. I'm like, this is the greatest game ever. And basically you were a wheelman for a crime syndicate or something. And I never really played the actual game. I just liked driving around. It was very similar. It was akin to the hell's the really popular game, Grand Theft Auto. Kind of similar. But damn, I love that game. And I'm trying to figure out why I'm telling this story. Because of the Chicago street race. So what I loved about it was it was like actual cities. Like, I think it was the original Miami was in there, but whatever game it was, and it might not even have been Driver. I think Chicago was on Driver. But anyway, I love Chicago. I love Chicago, but I wouldn't want to live there. That's the guy. I love Chicago, but only to visit. So I got to drive around, and I just love to drive around and see the different things in Chicago. It's like, I think that's cool. So when the Chicago street race, it's like, oh my God, this sounds awesome. And from the 15-second video clips I've seen, it looks freaking cool. So I do want to, at some point, go back and find what channel. Do you think it's on Peacock? Was it on broadcast on NBC? I don't know where NASCAR is usually broadcast, but if it was broadcast on NBC, it'd be on Peacock. Otherwise, I'd Probably have to find it on YouTube or somewhere. Andy Mack is in the house. Good morning. Good morning, Herman. Happy 4th. Randy's counting down the days. We're down to 22. I'm down to, I think, where are we at? 8 or 9 days until we move in. Richard Weideman, what's up? Good morning. Getting to join live. First time, long time. I owe you a bunch of cards, my guy. So I will shoot you a message because now I know where a lot of my cards are. Ben, good morning. Happy 4th. Room looks so empty. Yeah. You know what? It's not going to look any emptier over the next 8 or 9 days because pretty much everything, there may be a few boxes on this at the very end, which I don't even think you can see on camera. Back here, those boxes will be gone. And then you can't see up top. So a few boxes will be missing. Don't worry, box 13, we've still got a solid 8 or 9 days left of box 13 in the background. Let's see. John Evans, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I do have to say that because it's morning here. It's afternoon where John's at, and it's evening for our friends in Japan and Korea. Happy 4th, Brian. Good morning, JW. Happy 4th. Let's see. Food talk. Bink Scott's in the house. JW says, I'm constantly organizing my cards. It seems like as long as my inventory keeps expanding more than its downside. And that's the trouble. That is the trouble with organizing. How do you organize 3 million cards? It's almost when people say, so a common question I get with my Cubs cardometer, 905,270 plus. I got some mail yesterday. I'll show off. Ooh, that's cool. I didn't realize that's what the backs looked like. That was a Topps UK. First time I've ordered from Topps UK. Came in the mail yesterday. So I'll show those off. But where was I going with this? So when people ask about the cut, well, how do you count 905,000 cards? Well, I didn't count to 905,000 all at once. I started with like 50,000. And then from there, I count what Cubs cards come in. Box of 50, add it to the count. 300, add it to the count. 1,000. And there's only been a couple times I haven't counted every card. There's been a couple big trades, which I think I'm going to be doing a big trade/buy. And I don't even know how many. It might be upwards of 30,000 Cubs cards. The Tuesday of the National. So I will have a fresh big number jump going into the National. So looks like we're going to meet up on Tuesday before the Tuesday of National Week. So let's see, 21 days away from a big Cubs. And I've got a large flat rate box in my car still from the mail that I picked up, I don't know, a week or two ago. So I've got to get that counted before the National also. So it's not like I'm counting 900,000 cards and, it's just, and then once I get to, okay, now I'm at 500,000, 500,122. I put it in the Twitter profile is kind of where I keep it. And it's like, okay, I've got 50 Cubs cards from this set and I'll just count them up, add it to the Twitter profile. And then every once in a while, just, hey, this is the updated Cubs count. And then when I take it to a card show or whatever, the Cubs cardometer gets updated. So that's kind of how it rolls. So it's kind of the opposite in organizing because when it comes to Cubs, a lot of times it's a stack of, 50 cards or, maybe a large box of 800. It's not 150 to 200,000 filling the back of my SUV like when I buy a pallet from Goodwill every month. And we all know how long it takes to sort cards, especially when you have 150. They come in a lot faster than you can sort. So that's why I'm so disorganized. Somebody tweeted out, how do you organize your cards? Do you have a spreadsheet? Oh God, no. And I love spreadsheets, but God, no. Let's see. Let's see. And I love the I'm ignoring the comments now. I had to vent last night to some of my friends because when I show pictures you know what, I'm opening myself to all of these comments. So I just need to but I read every one, like on Twitter, I read every one of them, and it's just like, no shit, Sherlock. But it's like, better have a dehumidifier, better do this, better do that. And it's like, you know what? Well, what if your pipes burst? What if your basement floods? What if there's a fire? What if a bear breaks into my glass? We have bears here sometimes. We've been waiting for that New Madrid earthquake here in the Midwest. What if an earthquake happens? What if a tornado strikes? That's probably more likely than a bear. But it's like, Jesus Christ, if I have to prepare for everything, I don't want to do cards. I'm going to have an empty basement. I don't want anything because it might catch fire. It might be damaged in an earthquake or a tornado or a bear attack. Pipes might burst, condensation, humidity. Like, what's what do I do? What do I do? I can assure you that I've taken all the proper precautions in, when we had HVAC in the plumbing companies, like at the very beginning, I said, now my business is cardboard and it's going to be down here. So I need the best, no leaks, no condensation, no pipes bursting. I need the best stuff. So, where was the question at? So that was my little soapbox. One of my friends said, I like to use, I can't remember what he said, but he was 100% accurate. I do like to come on here and vent. I've got a lot of shit going on. It's nice to just vent. Let's see. Oh, somebody commented, those are some sturdy racks. And somebody commented, no, they're junk. It's like, no, they're not. And the other thing, let me just finish my soapbox here. It's like, I show this room and everybody comes out of the woodwork. You better have this. You better do that. Uh-oh, what happens if this happens? And doomsday scenarios. This is an unfinished basement, folks. All of it. Well, the rec room's not, but all of this. We had not even like a century flood. We had like a flood of biblical proportions back, 5 years ago? This house, this basement, bone dry. The home that we're moving into, bone dry. In fact, the original owner who built the house built the I have no idea what this all means. I just know it's a good thing. Whenever you dig, where's Mark Hoyle? Help me with this, Mark. Whenever you dig for like a foundation, whatever you do when you do that to code, you have to dig so deep down or whatever. The original owners dug down like a foot further, and in that foot they put like drainage tile or rock or I don't know, something like above and beyond code and what you normally do when you build a new home. And like everything's like graded to where that house was not getting, and we had like 18 inches of rain in a 24-hour period. Biblical proportions. Noah was cruising down the pond. It was that big of a flood, but no water touched that basement. So it's solid. So anyway, I do like to vent. let's circle back. So how do I organize 3 million cards? So it's kind of the opposite. Like with Cubs, it's easy. How do you count? It's easy. I just count. I just count to 30 or 50 or 100 or 1,000. But when I bring in a pallet from Goodwill, it's like, I can't sort this. So like, what was it? JW said, I'm constantly organizing, it seems like, as long as my inventory keeps expanding more than it's downsizing. And that's where the problem comes in. I'm bringing in more cards than than time available to actually sort them. And I do, like when I do go through and sort. It's like, well, if you're sorting Cubs, why don't you sort this, that, and the other? Well, because I don't have time. Because once you start sorting, now I've got piles everywhere. So it's just so clickbait. How do I organize 3 million cards? I don't. Sorry if you came for some expert advice. I don't have any expert advice on organization. Although I do, I box 1 tab AD. There's my expert advice. My eBay inventory, now that's all organized. The rest of the stuff, not even my Cubs are organized. But that's the fun part, and I like that part. So yesterday I was going through and I was just, because some of the boxes, like all the Cubs weren't necessarily in the same, it got mixed up in the first move. So I was checking each box, and what happens, ADD, hey, look, squirrel. When I open boxes, I'm like, oh, hey, what's this? And digging through, and I knew that I had some pretty cool, like Justin Steele has come out, and my prediction was he'll be top 3 in the Cy Young, and he's very well could be if he continues pitching like he has. He's an all-star, him and my buddy Stroh. I knew I had some cool Justin Steele cards because his first Bowman was, I think, the same year as Dylan Cease, 2014. I mean, I was buying Dylan Cease for pennies on the dollar back then. And apparently Justin Steele as well. So I'm going through and I didn't know what I had. It's just like, oh yeah, I probably have some pretty cool Justin Steele cards. Little did I know I had a 1 of 1. I did tweet about this. I was going through and I'm like, holy shit. I think it's magenta, the magenta printing plate from his first Bowman. And I bet, I don't know where I got it. It could have came in trade. I could have bought it for $10, $20. I know I wouldn't have spent more than $20 on it. But that was a nice little find. What else? I finally found, I'm sending the birthday boy, Ethan Roberts, because I've got a shirt, an obvious shirt that I ordered the wrong small. So it should fit his son. So I'm sending him that. And I'm like, I'm trying to get him into vintage. So I'm like, I've got a couple extra Ernie Banks cards. I found one of them. So I've got to get a package out to him. So I'm able to find some stuff. It's like, hey. So what I started doing is, as I'm finding these boxes, I also didn't want to, something that holds me back in getting somewhat organized is when I go through boxes and nothing is labeled. That's why I don't believe when I look at Facebook Marketplace and you see somebody's collection, like these 3 boxes, and it says 1966, 1978. It's probably 91 Fleer inside. None of my boxes. Some of them, it's better. It might say 91 Fleer. I open it up and it's a bunch of dollar cards or $5 cards. Oh, hey, eBay this. So I don't believe what the boxes say. So, and what do I not do? I think I need to take some Post-it notes just so when I'm going through, it's like, oh, this is, say it's 81 Fleer. That's a good set that I can quickly list on eBay and I can sell because I move a decent amount of early 80s stuff. So I need to do that today. If I can find my Post-it notes, they're somewhere buried on this table. But what I was doing was when I found stuff that I could list on eBay, it's like I found a like eBay inventory, like a $40 autograph, a Cam Collier Elite Extra Edition auto numbered to like 49 or 75. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know I had it. It's from the box I opened out at spring training. I took a hobby box of Elite Extra Edition out to Arizona for spring training, and little did I know, I pulled a Cam Collier low number autograph, because it was buried in a box. I had like consolidated those cards into a Cubs box, so I must have missed it, and it was in with a bunch of Cubs. So I'm like, oh, I gotta put this in a box, and that'll go in my eBay store. So I was moving into where the eBay. So in the photo in the thumbnail of today's video, it shows that's going to be like the card room, similar to what you see here. Just a much bigger space. And so I'll have like a dozen of these shelves stacked with cards. And then I'll have another room, which is also an unfinished space. That'll be much like this space, but with my eBay inventory. But like I mentioned earlier, I consolidated the shelves so I won't have to stack boxes 3, 4 high like you see here, because that is not efficient. So so that's kind of, I'm not really working much in that room right now because I want to get the back stock. I guess that's a good term, not the card room. It's more of a back stock area. So I need to get that finished up because round 2 begins tomorrow with more moving of the cards. Okay, what's going on in the chat? Brian says order Casey's and splurged. The problem with Casey's is I don't know. I'd have to have like DoorDash, and I do Casey's. I've done Casey's. I actually had Casey's last weekend. Was it last weekend? Yeah. Last weekend, the Sunday after the bachelor party, I hit up a Casey's on the drive home and had a couple slices of sausage pizza from Casey's. Good morning, Angel Baby Cards. I hope you have your Tops hat on and your cup of coffee with you. JW ads. Where's JW at? Let's see. JW says should have more West Coasters this morning. It's already after 10 here. Yeah, so JW must be on the East Coast, 10:30 out there. It's only 7:30 where Angel Baby Cards is, out in the hindquarters of Chavez Ravine. I'm surprised we're at 72 live viewers. I'm actually shocked by that because it's 4th of July. I'm like, I'll probably get 12 people in the chat this morning. What's up, baseball card curmudgeon? Happy 4th. Herman says Memorial Day marks the beginning and Labor Day the end. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Good morning, Collector's Dream in the house. Happy 4th. Fairfax says, happy to see Box 13 still with you. You should always keep it close for good luck. So the good news is, yes, Box 13 hopefully will survive the move. Where's that? It's back here. Unfortunately, my token Miller Lights in my beer fridge didn't make it. I threw them away. I had those with me since we moved into this house in November of 2016, 2 weeks after the Chicago Cubs won the World Series. I think it was the following summer, so it would have been 2017, the summer of 2017, or spring maybe, like May. Let's call it May 2017. We had like a housewarming beginning of summer party. It might have been Memorial Day weekend of 2017. And was it? Yeah, it might have been because we got married in 2017. Yeah. So I bet it was. I bet it was Memorial Day weekend of 2017. And the funny thing is, I think that party, or maybe the year before. Yes, it was because my dad passed away in August of 2016. So we had like a party in September. And you're like, a party? Your dad died and you throw a party? Yes, that's what my dad wanted. He said, he goes, I don't want a service. I don't want a funeral. I don't want a calling hour. We call it calling hours back in Anawan. Calling hours, which is basically a visitation. He goes, I don't want none of that. He goes, I want you to throw a keg party. I'm like, what? He goes, yep, throw me a kegger. We can do that. Okay. So we did. We threw a kegger. So we got a keg of Busch Light because that was his beer. We got a keg of Busch Light. And then I brought down, I'm like, not everybody wants to drink keg beer. So I brought down a bunch of like a case of Spotted Cow. Because I'm like, oh, Spotted Cow. People will want Spotted Cow. And probably Bud Light, like in cans. So, few cases of Coors Light, 1 or 2 cases of Spotted Cow. One person drank Spotted Cow, and it wasn't even me. One person drank Spotted Cow. The good thing was I took back a whole shitload of Spotted Cow, and it got drank. So fast forward, I'm like, so here we're in Wisconsin. So I'm like, Miller Lite. So for our housewarming summer party, I got a case of Miller Lite and a case of Spotted Cow. Ran out of Spotted Cow. Not a single can of Miller Lite was drank. And over the course of the next few months, I don't like Coors Light at all, which is weird because it's just a light beer. You would think, oh, Miller Lite probably tastes the same as Coors Light or Bud Light if you're a non-beer drink, if you don't drink beer. No, I just, ew. And I had like 5 or 6 left. And then friends would come over. I'm like, here, please drink my Miller Lite. So I had like 5 or 6 left, and it got to the point where it's like, this is a year old. I'm not going to drink this now. And it sat in the back of my fridge from May 2017 until June of 2022. Over 5 years, that Miller Lite was in the back of my fridge. I think I tweeted about it once a few months ago, and people were like, oh, you've got to leave that for the new tenants or the new owners. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do that. So I had to clean out the fridge. It was garbage day. I think it was last garbage day last week. And our freezer, our basement freezer, which is just like, it's where we put like extra, like it's actually where food goes to die. It's like when we buy too much for our main fridge, it just goes into the basement fridge and then it's lost forever. So I knew some of the freezer stuff, like the pizzas and the pasta and whatever else was in there. I knew it was kind of old. All of every item that had an expiration date in this freezer down here, 2020. I'm like, oh my God, this expired 3 years ago. Now I think that's if it was fresh, like, but I think they say like it should only be like it's fresh by, July 4th, 2023. And then, but it's good for like up to a year after frozen. So still like probably should have consumed this 2 years ago, before 2 years ago. So chucked it all, including the 5-year-old Miller Lite. Let's see. JG says beginning of the NASCAR in Chicago was hilarious. Crashes at every turn. One of the videos I did see was just like, I couldn't tell what was going on. And then all of a sudden the camera panned over and it's like, there's just this bottleneck pileup. James says Twisted Metal 2 and 007. Oh, I was never like my friends were freaking 007 fanatics. Like they would play it all night long. Literally all night long. I had Twisted Metal for PlayStation, but I wasn't as big of a fan of Twisted Metal. Paige and Deanie Bean, good morning. Dean says he likes Spy Hunter. I don't think I've ever played Spy Hunter. Zach and Porter, good morning. He's playing catch up. Merle in the house, happy Independence Day. Flipping Sports Guy is here. Bo actually has some natural light. Yeah. John says, perhaps if you look at it from the perspective of people trying to help. Nah, don't want to do it. But if I looked at it from the perspective of every single person trying to help, I would not have any. I would like if I took every piece of advice that I'm getting, the only options would be to just give up or like build Fort Knox in my basement, which probably can't afford that. What if Yellowstone erupts? I know. What if Mount Vesuvius? Is that still a volcano? What if Box 13 implodes? That's the most likely to happen. One of these times I'm going to lift up Box 13 and the bottom's going to fall out. So I should replace Box 13 should be, but it's just become such a, oh, look at how cute Box 13 is. Don't want to put it out to pasture. Great mention of the New Madrid earthquake. For anybody my age, which is probably most of you, especially here in the Midwest, wasn't that like in school we were taught like we were going to have this great catastrophic earthquake and like Nostradamus predicted it. It was supposed to happen like, I remember in like second or third grade, it was like predicted. December 11th or 12th. They got it down to like a 2-day period. December 11th or 12th of 1993. We're going to have a catastrophic earthquake, and it never happened. And here we are 30 years later. By the way, today is the 30th anniversary. Let me get, am I doing the math? Yes. Today is the 30th anniversary of the narcissist Lex Luger turning babyface and body slamming Yokozuna on the USS Intrepid. 30 years! Can you believe that? And Lex Luger and the Lex Express cruise on through America. And then they battle at SummerSlam. It's like this huge lead up. And then they go to SummerSlam. And it's like Lex Luger doesn't win. It's like this is their. But I listened to a lot of like the Bruce Pritchard podcast, and it's been mentioned many times that apparently Vince fell out of Lex. How's the term? How should I use the wording? Lex fell out of favor from Vince. And I think there was even a point in time, like at a house show, they had Lex Luger come out, like during this Lex Express tour. They had Lex Luger come out with the belt just to gauge crowd reaction. And apparently he wasn't over enough. So they kept the belt on Yokozuna. And who beat Yoko? But then we go into like 90. Who did Bret? Oh, I think Bret Hart. Then it was Bret Yoko. Who? Because it was Hogan. Hogan won at WrestleMania 9. And then Yoko won it back from the salt in the face. The Flash. The camera flash. It was Harvey Whippleman as a photographer. And there was a flash, and Hulk Hogan was blinded, and Yokozuna won the title back. And then on July 4th, 1993, Lex Luger body slammed Yokozuna, and it was a lead up to SummerSlam. And then I think they battled to like a double count out or something. And then Lex Luger never won a world championship. And I can't remember who won the belt off Yoko in 93 or 94. It must have been Bret Hart. Can't remember. Somebody will know. Somebody has probably already mentioned it in the chat. John says, my kids used to say it was an accident. It wasn't an accident. It was a screw up. Zach says, question, would you rather receive zero response to a tweet or a few people not knowing all the background? When you share, people will respond. It's human nature. Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that. I don't know what I would rather have. Because obviously, what do we want on social? We want engagement. So you're right. Maybe I should just be happy. Tom Coleman, happy Ungrateful Colonist Day. John says, also nice to have people care about you. Some people think that's nice, I guess. Some people are better than me. Don't be the IG model who gets a few trolls. Enjoy you being a notable person in the hobby that people care to check in on. Todd says, don't you love how many online are experts on everything? Jay Wishy, what's up? He says, smash the like button. Thank you. Bo, do you ever hit the Goodwill in Kiwani or Peru? No, I don't really hit Goodwills anywhere, which I probably should. I don't even, I actually, when I go home, I don't even drive through Peru because I hate the interstate, especially the interstate in Wisconsin. Because even though it's 6 lanes now, people still drive slow in the left lane. Like, we gave you an extra lane so you can drive slow in the middle lane now, but they choose, there's like a force field. Like, I have to be in the far left lane and drive slow. Wisconsin drivers, they always do it. And then you get the Illinois license plates that are like freaking zipping past you 110 miles an hour. Those fibs. But I never take the interstate when I go to Anawan because I like the country. I like the country road. Take me home. I like taking my main route. My main go-to is I'll drive down through New Glarus, home of Spotted Cow, Monroe, and then Freeport, cut over to Sterling, and then go down. I haven't taken 78. 78 was my go-to. So I just go out to Mount Horeb, and then 78's basic. Well, it's a straight shot because Anawan sits on 78. However, there's a lot of curves and turns, and especially in southern Wisconsin. So 78 takes you down from Mount Horeb. You go through like Blanchardville, Argyle, Gratiot, which is a fun, sounds like grass shit. I stopped at the gas station there, and I'm like, how do you pronounce? Because it's spelled Gratiot. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not pronounced Gratiot. I'm like, how do you? But it is the Midwest. It probably would be in many places. They're like, it's grass shit. I'm like, oh, like grass shit? Grass shit. Let's see. Flipping Sports Guy says we're all used to the clickbait now. Yes, the clickbait. Where are we at? Card driver. Organized by year. You found something shiny. Yes. JW says, I'm always amazed how I still find hidden gems when I organize and sort. Usually it's always serial numbered cards I overlooked before. That's always a fun one. I've done that a lot, especially with tops. Like, I'll find like the black parallels to like 65 or whatever they're numbered to. I found Independence. Speaking of, it's Independence Day. I found some of the Independence Day parallels just going through random boxes. I found I was going through the other night. I just wanted to sort some cards, and I had like a commons box that I bought for like $5 for the entire box. And there were a couple like the image variations. Now they're like basically $2. Like, they're a little above the $1.50 free shipping on eBay. I can probably get $2.50. There was, I think, Ian Kinsler and one other. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is an image variation. And people always ask that may not be familiar looking at as many cards. Well, how do you know if it's an image variation or a super short print? It just I don't know. It's just, you just do. Like, once you've seen enough of them and you've gone through so many, it just like, and sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'll look at a card and I'm like, I think this is an image variation, and I'll check the code on the back and no, it's a base card. But there was an Ian Kinsler and one other one. I'm like, oh, I think this is an image variant. Sure enough, it was. Because people, even if you buy, now I'm not saying go buy a bunch of commons and you might find short prints and super short prints, like the Acuna super short print, sold it for what, $250, and I got it out of a quarter box. And it was in boxes searched by 2 different card dealers. One, a card shop owner, who then sold the bulk to a dealer, who then goes through and cherry picks what he wants, and then puts his quarter box together. And then I go through and I'm like, that's a Gold Cup Acuna. That's got to be worth a couple bucks. And it's a $250 card. And that's what I sold it for. Let's see. Raphael, what's up? Good morning. Harlan in the house. Good morning. Missed the start of the show. Taking pictures for eBay. Love it. Peeps in the house. Good morning. The new house coming along, new video, new walkthrough. That'll be the last video until probably the finished product, because not much else will be happening with it. So it's coming along. We're 9 days away from move-in. So Card Hobbyist, good morning. What's the next baseball release you're looking forward to buying? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not really looking forward to Topps Chrome. I know a lot of people are. I'll probably buy some. Like, it's in retail, right? Or not? Yes, it is in retail. Yes, it is. But I'm not really looking forward to Topps Chrome, which, by the way, releases the week of the National. So I'll have enough to distract me than buying a new product. Probably, I think Topps Pro Debut is actually, I was talking to one of my buddies who runs a card shop, and he says that Topps Pro Debut, what I don't like about Fanatics now with their new release schedule is you don't know when products are releasing. I want to know. I'd kind of like to plan. Okay, I want to buy Topps Pro Debut. But I think Topps Pro Debut's coming out in August, maybe. Because I think Topps Chrome is the next release at the end of this month, and then I think Topps Pro Debut is shortly after, sometime in August. So I'm looking forward to Pro Debut, and I'll probably I'd like to buy multiple cases. I freaking loved Pro Debut the last 2 years. So Pro Debut is probably my next one. I used to be a huge Allen and Ginter fan, and I've kind of just, it's okay. Heritage Miners is always a favorite of mine, but I like Pro Debut better than Heritage Miners now. So those are 3 products. What else comes out? Bowman Chrome, I'm like, Bowman Draft, it's too high priced. I love it, but it's too high priced. What else are we? Topps Archives, I think, is still a thing. I like Archives. Archives is actually, I enjoy Archives now. When I first got back into buying new products in 10 years ago, 11 years, in 2012, Archives was something that, because there was nostalgia, and it's like, oh, this is cool. But then it just got stale, and I started liking Topps Heritage. And then when Topps Heritage went to the 70s, when I thought I would enjoy Topps Heritage the most, I'm actually enjoying it the least now. And I like the Archives again. And I've become a bigger fan of Archives here in the last couple of years than Heritage. Matt Bracken in the house. 1 baseball, 2 football, 3 basketball, 4 hockey, 5 soccer, 6 racing, 7 wrestling. Let's see. I bet it was cold and delicious. My dad did the same thing when he passed. He did not want a wake funeral. He said there was no purpose to have people weeping over his body. We had a party in his honor instead. Love it. Yeah. And it was a good time. Good time was had by all. Chris Johnson says 68 watching, yet only 5 likes. Hit that like button. Thank you, Chris. We're up to 24 likes. Pre-COVID beer. Let's see. Happy 4th, Chris Johnson. Good morning, Joe Olivo from California. Super sexy cardboard. 100% grew up in Kiwani. 3rd, Garfish, maybe huge fault line. Down dare. I don't understand that. 3rd, Garfish, maybe huge fault line. That was a hip toss, not a body slam. Rock latex. Basement card collector, happy 4th. Long time no watch. Good to be on again. Welcome back. Good to have you. Dan says, good morning. I love the late holiday stream. I planned on going on at my normal 7 a.m., but I was sore. And yesterday morning, I hadn't planned on doing so much manual labor yesterday. So I'm like, oh my God, I woke up, I'm sore. I'm the next couple of weeks are, hey, maybe I'll get into shape. A better shape than I'm currently in. Richard says, Bret Hart won at WrestleMania 94. Lex has a rematch with Yoko on the same show, but lost by DQ. Bret moved on to Owen feud, and Lex faded to the mid-card. Yeah, and then going into 95, he teamed up with the British Bulldogs, or British Bulldog. They were the Allied, were they the Allied Express? Was that what they were? The Allied Forces, Allied Express? They had a pretty good, I loved their theme music. Because I remember when I went to my very first wrestling show was in 1995, April of 95. On the card was Triple H, his debut. I still have my ticket. I have it on eBay for like a obscene amount. Because I think it's cool. I'm probably gonna eventually, I've been saying it for 2 years, submit it to PSA. But the Allied Forces or whatever they were called, because they were, I think Owen and Yoko were a tag team. I think they were tag team champions, Owen Hart and Yokozuna. Let's see. Steve says, did I miss the how to organize part? Yes. I don't know. Wrong channel. Clickbait title. Card Hobbyist says, glad to see some clearance prices again at retail. Yeah, I haven't been to Walmart or Target. There's been a couple times where it's like, I just need, not even looking at it from a ROI standpoint, but just to take $100 and just rip some blasters. Knockaround has a beautiful pair of Cubs sunglasses, 25% off today. Problem with Topps Archives is CDP can't that is annoying. And I understand why it may why it's like that, because it's old designs, it's like, what the hell is this? The computer is confused. Eventually the AI will get smarter, and we won't have that problem. Who knows when? Archives has sneaky tough SPs. Yeah, the Chris Bryant is still, because he's got like a super short print rookie card in Archives, and it's still like a super expensive card. And his market's way down. Steve prefers GQ over A&G, and that's the thing. It seems like there's either your pro Gypsy Queen anti A&G or pro A&G anti Gypsy Queen. Because I don't like Gypsy Queen. And I think a lot of people that like Gypsy Queen don't like Allen and Ginter. Bronco in the house. Funny thing about Bronco. Not a funny thing, but I was posting about the Singles Club on Twitter. And I posted a photo from the 2021 National. And Uncle Rich was in the background, which I think was the first time I met Uncle Rich, standing in the Singles Club. Chris from the Singles Club, Dollar Cards, posted the very first photo of me standing in front of the Singles Club booth in 2019. And in the background, I see a Milwaukee Brewers hat. And I'm like, well, that guy looks familiar. And I scan in. I'm like, that looks a lot like Bronco. And I didn't meet Bronco until, when did you start doing my shows? Probably November of last year, like 2022, when I met Bronco. So this was 3 years before we even knew of each other. And there he is in the background of a photo at the National from 4 years ago. Very cool stuff. Let's see. Search and rescue cards in the house. When I scan front and back my cards with PaperStream Click Scan and send them to Card Dealer Pro, it counts as a scan. What do I have to do to get them count as one? It should only count as one. So there's two options. There's front only and front and back. So you have to choose front and back, and that will then only count as one scan. But if you have front and back images and you only click scan now or front only, it's gonna treat your back to one card as a separate scan and its own card. So that's how. But yeah, when you do front and back, it only counts as one scan per card. Where we at? Herman says I still haven't hooked up and used my scanner. What? Herman. Boomslang in the house. What is happening? Dan says I rewatched 92 Royal Rumble last night. That was fun. That was a good one. That was the Ric Flair Royal Rumble. I'm a big Royal Rumble fan. My favorite of the pay-per-views. Basement card collector, your basement is looking bare since my last watch. Did you answer the question about organizing the millions of cards? No. There is no answer. I don't know. It's just clickbait. It's just clickbait. I apologize. Short answer is I don't. I don't organize. The only thing I organize is my eBay inventory, and hopefully I get some of my Cubs stuff organized. Let's see. Dan says we still don't even have retail at Walmart and Target on the shelves here in Syracuse, but Barnes and Noble is loaded. Yeah, we've always had. Now during the retail boom, it was hard to find stuff, but once that died down, we've got everything on the shelves. Herman had a major setback right after I got it. Bummer. It's hard to organize with constant inflow. Yes, and that's my problem. I bring in a ton of cards, but I brought in more cards yesterday, but a small amount. My first order from Topps UK. They made a special box set for the game that was in London last week. MLB World Tour London Series. I'm going to keep a box for my collection. The box contains 10 Cardinals base cards, 10 Cubs base cards, and 5 image variation cards. So I bought 2. My initial reasoning for buying 2 was I was going to open a box and then leave one sealed. And then when I realized there's image variations, it's like, oh, well, I might as well just open them both because I'll have an image variation that I don't have, hopefully, in the box. So we don't want to show Cardinals. So the Cardinals, basically, I will be selling in my eBay store, probably $1.50 a card, and maybe $2.50 for the image variations. I don't know. I've got to look up. I'm sure that's what comps are. So these are a couple image variations. Here's the Cody Bellinger image variation. I'm glad I got this one. This is cool. Justin Steele image variation. Let's see. What were the other? I don't even know what's an image variant. And see, I don't know this product, so I don't know the Nico. Oh, so Nico. Oh, okay. So I guess it is. Looks like the image variations are full body shots. Unfortunately, I only got 2 Cubs image variations in each box. That means I got 3 image variations of the Cardinals in each box. And then Eric Hosmer, who's no longer with the team. Here's Dansby, All-Star Dansby Swanson, Trey Mancini, Cody Bellinger, the base card for Cody, Suzuki, Nico. Here's the base of Justin Steele, the base of Eric Hosmer, and the Morel. And I think, one more after Tyone. Jamison Tyone, who's been terrible. And Marcus Stroman, who's been awesome. All-Star Marcus Stroman. So those came in the mail yesterday. So I'll put the Cardinals in my eBay store, Cubs in my collection. What else? I think that's all. That's all I've got. I'm going to throw a box away. Actually, that box is in good condition. I'll throw that box away. We'll keep that box. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Did a walkthrough video. I put that up. Search and Rescue wants to see the Cardinals. Oh, we'll show the Cardinals. So here's former Cub Wilson Contreras. I think that's the image variation. Here's Miles Michaelis image variation. Nolan Arenado. Paul Goldschmidt. Tommy Edman. Here's the base version for Willie. Dylan Carlson. Your last place, St. Louis Cardinals. Tyler O'Neill. Jordan Montgomery. Here's a fun one. Lars Nootbaar. Wayno. Here's the Michaelis base. So there's, and then here are the, so who were my image variations? Were Michaelis, Contreras, and Edman. Oh, I got doubles of Contreras and Michaelis on the image variations. There's Nolan Arenado. Well, that sucks. So those are the Cardinals. Hit the like button if you haven't already. How much for the lot? Cheap. Are you on Twitter? Hit me up on Twitter if you're on Twitter. I disagree, Rock Latex. Happy birthday, or happy birthday. Happy 4th, Dave. Dave, when's your birthday? Happy 4th. I'm either too early or too late. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. eBay link in the description. Tomorrow morning, we'll go on as regularly scheduled, 7 a.m. Central on the 5th of July. And that's what I had. So have a good one. Enjoy. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. We'll talk to you tomorrow.